Talking about character in fiction. In SBA, discuss a character in a novel or a film. Do you see a change in certain characters? How do you describe a character? 你點樣去描述角色呢？ Try to avoid using simple general words to describe someone's character. For example, instead of saying that someone is kind, there are many other words that you can use, such as considerate, 體貼, generous, 大方, or sympathetic, 同情. If you need help finding these more exact words, you can find them in your Longman Essentials Activator under the words kind, 善良, honest, 誠實, friendly, 友善, confident, 自信, etc. It's good to give a real example of an occasion that shows that what you're saying is true. For example, instead of just saying that someone is helpful, you could say, Sue is very kind and helpful. When I first started college, she made me feel at home and showed me where everything was. Don't say things like, her character is very nice. Say, she's a very nice person, or she's very nice. People often also say that someone is a particular sort or kind of person. For example, he always seems such a happy sort of person. A list of useful words to describe someone's personality. Affectionate. An affectionate person is someone who is very loving. For example, the grandmother is very affectionate. Aggressive. A negative adjective. Someone who is physically or verbally threatening towards other people. For example, I don't like aggressive people. I like people who are relaxed and calm. Ambitious. An adjective used to describe a person who is keen to get on in life. For example, Tusha is very ambitious. He is hoping to be promoted soon. Anxious. Someone who worries a lot. For example, Trish is a very anxious person. She worries far too much about things. Artistic. Someone who is good at creating things such as painting and drawing. For example, Jennifer is very artistic. She is really good at drawing. Bad-tempered. Somebody who gets angry a lot. For example, my uncle's really bad-tempered. He's always shouting at my aunt. Big-headed. Someone with a very high opinion of themselves. For example, Simon is a bit big-headed. He thinks more of himself than others do. Bossy. Mildly negative. Used to describe someone who tries to control other people. For example, my gran is a bit bossy. She's always ordering my poor granddad about. Charismatic. Somebody who attracts other people and who is good at getting people's attention. For example, Barack Obama is a very charismatic politician. Creative. Someone who is an original thinker or who has artistic skills. For example, Mona is very creative. She's always coming up with new ideas. Courageous. An adjective used to describe someone who is very brave. For example, Abdul is a fireman. He is very courageous. He rescues people from fires. Dependable. An adjective used to describe someone who is very reliable. For example, Ruth is very dependable. She always keeps her promises. Devious. Negative. Used to describe someone who cheats other people to get what they want. For example, Sam can be a bit devious at times. I wouldn't trust him. Extroverted. Someone who is very outgoing. For example, Dave is very extroverted. He's always the life and soul of the party. Egotistical. Negative. Used to describing someone who acts as if they are more important than others. For example, Simon is a bit egotistical. He tends to look down on people. Gregarious. Very sociable. For example, Tina is very gregarious. She has lots of friends. Impulsive. An adjective used to describe someone who acts before thinking. For example, Luca can be a bit impulsive. He doesn't always think before he acts. Intelligent. Someone who is very clever. For example, Stephen Hawking is a very intelligent man. Introverted. Someone who is quiet and shy. Opposite of extroverted. For example, Myra is quite introverted. She doesn't really enjoy parties. Industrious. Very hardworking. For example, Sam is very industrious. He works really hard at his job. Joyful. Very happy. For example, I'm in a joyful mood today. Life is good at the moment. Reliable. Someone you can depend upon. For example, Jerry is very reliable. You can always depend on him to keep his promises. Sociable. Someone who enjoys mixing with people. For example, Donata is very sociable. She has a lot of friends. Sympathetic. Someone who offers a friendly ear to people with problems. For example, Ron is a very sympathetic person. He's always a really good listener. Talkative. Somebody who talks a lot. For example, Julie is very talkative. She's always on the phone chatting to friends. Upbeat. Someone with a cheerful, positive attitude to life. For example, Rosalie is such an upbeat person. She's one of the happiest people I know. If you want to say that someone does something often, and this is an important part of their character, you can say that they are always doing something. For example, he's always complaining. Margaret's very considerate. She's always helping people. If you want to say that someone sometimes behaves in a particular way, you use tend to be or can be, especially when talking about negative qualities. She tends to be rather impatient. He can be very moody at times. If you want to say something negative about someone, you often use not very. He's not very sympathetic. He's unsympathetic. 麻木不仁。She's not very decisive. She's indecisive. 優柔寡斷。Example: use concrete evidence to support the use of certain adjectives. Does anyone ever imagine that there is such a powerful Christmas carol in the world that can radically alter a callous man from loathing the world to enjoying the world, from ignoring people to loving people? As a rhetorical question can bring in your viewpoint on the change in Scrooge's personality. 問一個反問句，可以將你對守財奴嘅個性變化嘅觀點帶出嚟。Now, do the exercise to test yourself. Bye.